Yes, I competed at the Tactical Games Nationals while pregnant. Here's how it went. I actually found out I was pregnant the day I signed up for nationals. It was just a few hours later. I had no regrets and I had no thoughts of like backing out. I thought, I signed up, I'm gonna have a good time. It's fine, it's gonna be great. There was just so many things that just went wrong, but honestly, like it's hard to go back and think about those moments. I shed a lot of tears, to be completely honest, over that whole weekend. I really did. And that was only because I was, like, I knew I could do so much better. And it was those little mistakes over the weekend that I was upset about, because it was things I could have avoided. But I'm just glad I went, had that experience, and was able to be there because it was so fun. So the first event was a run. It kind of sucked, not gonna lie.
Finally in the trail. I'm about, let's see, halfway, I think.
Whew. The scenery was amazing. There was a lot of stairs, which sucked, but it was beautiful, so I really can't complain about it. I'm glad it wasn't just on the road. I'm glad it was in the trees and in nature, but it did suck.
Okay guys, so we are here at my second stage. It is the Creek Run. So we have some shots on, it's basically a two-course stage. So you're using the rifle and the pistol. We are doing some shots here on the range, and then we go actually like through a creek, and we have some shots on the pistol through there, but we'll see how it goes.
I was excited for this one, but it kind of started off bad, I will say.
Ready? Stand by.
So I accidentally put my suppressor on the barricade that I was shooting off of, which obviously threw all of my shots off, and I didn't know it at first. I was so frustrated because I thought I should be hitting these shots, like I was dead on, and then obviously I realized that my suppressor was on the barricade, and so once I was almost through with that first section, I was able to correct my shots, and by that point I was nervous about being able to get to the rest of the stage, so I did not go back and correct the shots that I missed already. So I just decided to move on to the next stage. Once I got to the pistol, it was a lot better. I felt like I was going way faster than I really was, but that's okay. I feel like that's me all the time. I feel like I'm way faster than I actually am. The pistol was pretty smooth, but then by the time I was done with the pistol and we had to go back to the rifle, I was out of time and I was not able to complete the spinner because I just ran out of time because I spent so much time at the beginning. But that's okay. I was happy with what I was able to do, even though I did have a little bit of a hiccup. We did have a long range stage. Let's just say I suck at long range. And to add to that, my rifle was not zeroed in that great. It was not that precise. I don't even know what to say because it was just bad. Now, we finished off day one with the obstacle course, which I was really excited about. I was a little nervous because I am pregnant, but ultimately I was excited for this. Once we were going through the briefing, I saw all of the obstacles and I realized how tall they were and how hard they might be compared to what I was thinking. And I did get a little bit more nervous right before I started, and I did not think I was going to finish it because there was a time cap between each obstacle. It was a generous time cap, I will say, but I was still nervous about being able to finish it within that time cap. The whole time I was thinking to myself, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. And that was just my biggest concern, was just not to fall. And even Tanner said, my husband, he said, Alyssa, look at me, don't fall. So that made me nervous, but I think the adrenaline kicked in and I made sure I did not fall and I did not lose my grip or my step at all on any of the obstacles. I do feel like I was more timid than I would have been if I wasn't pregnant, but I'm glad I was able to finish the obstacle course and finish the whole thing, finish all of the obstacles within the time cap and safely.
Okay, so we are here day 2 of nationals. Day 1, I'll be honest, was a mess. It didn't go quite as I had hoped, but I'm hoping day 2 and day 3 are a lot better, so we'll see how it goes.
What's your position right now?
I am dead last.
Okay, how are you gonna make it up?
Today, I'm just gonna go out and just give it my all, because I know yesterday it had a lot of my weaknesses in it, so I know today and tomorrow I'm just gonna get points where I can and just try to make it up. And
Where do you want to place?
I mean, obviously I would love to be in the top 3, but honestly I'm just trying to, I can't go any further down. So I'm just trying to go up as much as I can. I'm just trying to prove that I deserve to be here. I am good enough to be here. So that's all what today and tomorrow is about.
On the first stage, we were doing burpees over the box with a bag. Once we were done with those, that was kind of like a buy-in. We would take our mags that were set up on a table and go to the firing line. However, I forgot my mags were staged there instead of on my belt or in my plate carrier. Once I got to the firing line with my sandbag, I realized I didn't have my mags, so I had to go all the way back. However, I had to take my sandbag with me. And it was not a light sandbag. It wasn't crazy heavy, but it was still heavy enough that it sucked. After the firing sequence 1, we went to the bag toss section, where we would basically, kind of like a kettlebell swing, we would toss a bag over the line and then complete firing sequence 2, and then we would come back to complete the ground to shoulders. During this, my plate carrier was not as tight as it should have been, so every time I would clean the bag and then go from front rack to back rack, my plate carrier would hit my chin. It hit it so hard so many times that I seriously thought I was going to start bleeding in my mouth or my jaw or something. And luckily I didn't start bleeding. I did have a nasty bruise. Once we were done with that, we went back to the firing line to finish the firing sequence 3. And once we were done with that, we would go back to the box and perform as many reps as we could of the burpee over the box with the bag. I did not even get to that because I was already behind from my screw up on the very beginning.
On the last one, I forgot my mags, so that cut up a lot of time. But I feel like my pistol shots and my rifle shots were good, so hopefully I don't get too many penalties from misses on those. But it didn't go as planned, but I did okay. This next one is, we're using pistol only, and we have 3 targets and 4 positions to shoot at, so we'll see. So I'm shooting my Staccato P, the best gun in the world. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but I do love it.
Awesome.
Let's just say because I have Staccato, I think I have a little bit of advantage.
How do I get a camera like that following me? Hi, Ma!
my husband. You just gotta marry someone.
Yeah.
I'm available. Yes, sir.
This next stage I was pretty excited about because it was only pistol, and I have run a lot of drills that were pretty much the same concept. However, I did very bad on it. I fumbled so much, and I think, honestly, I just did not play it in my head as many times as I should have. It was just like a brain fart moment that I was so frustrated afterwards.
Slide.
I felt like I hadn't ever done that before. That's the one thing I actually felt like I was just like, I don't know, my brain wasn't working. I've done that so many times.
This next stage had intervals, and we actually did this exact same stage at the Utah regional event. So I actually completed this one months before, and I remember how much I hated it. So I was excited to be able to do better on this one, but at the same time I remember how bad it hurt. So I was not excited. I actually did way better than I did at the Utah regional event, but yes, it did hurt just as bad.
Faster. Let's go. Go.
The final stage for day 2 was this stage with the rope climbs. I did end up having to transition to the modification halfway through doing the rope climbs just because my upper body was so burnt out. But really what held me back on the stage was malfunctions with my rifle. I kept having malfunctions every stage, and it really just messed my time up. So I knew I wasn't going to place well at this one at all, but we got through it, and it was the last one of the day, so I was excited to be over with day 2. Day 3, redemption time, or so I thought. On this stage, it was actually my favorite stage of the weekend because I love sandbags, and it was my first time using this wheelbarrow. But to start it, we would go to the firing line and shoot the firing sequence 1, and then we would go to our wheelbarrow, fill it up with our sandbags, take the wheelbarrow to another section. Once we would get there, then we would unload our sandbags onto the table, move our wheelbarrow around the table, fill up our wheelbarrow again, and then take it back to the area that we started at. Then we would unload our wheelbarrow there, do firing sequence 2, and then repeat that 3 times. This stage I placed the best than any of the other stages, so I was happy about that. After I finished it, I knew that nothing went wrong, and I didn't have any malfunctions, I didn't have any brain farts, so I was feeling really good about this stage.
I got done with the wheelbarrow one, basically. That one, it was fun, but it was hard. I think I did okay there. My shots were okay. I think my rifle shots were better than they had been all week, I think. I think I saw some of them, and I think they were good. Pistol shots weren't perfect, but they were okay. So I think I finished in a good time, so it's really up to my shots on whether or not my time stays or if I get pushed back with penalties. I feel a little defeated, not gonna lie, a little defeated. But, you know, I'm making the most of it, and it's been a rough weekend. But I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I stuck through it, and just trying to finish out the last day strong. So I am about to go in like 20 minutes, the bike stage. So it's basically 1 minute of bike, 4 cows, and then 1 minute of shooting, just the rifle, and then you have 1 minute of rest, and you're doing that 4 times. So I suck at the bike, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm planning on making sure all my shots are good and taking time on those, but we'll see how it goes.
What is it like competing pregnant?
You know what? I'm to that point where I'm almost past my first trimester, and so it's actually getting a little bit better, I think. So luckily, I'm feeling a little bit better for this. I'm not as nauseated, I'm not as exhausted, but leading up to it, it was a little tough to train because I was sick, I had no energy, but we're here, we're doing it.
Now the final stage of the final day was with no weapons, no belt. It was basically a weave through the rig. So we would go over, through, under, and just repeat that as many times as we can. We had 6 minutes to complete as many reps as we could. Looking back, I really could have gone faster than I did, but I was also not trying to push myself too hard the whole weekend.
So, just finished the last event. That was brutal, but it was good. We'll see what it ends up to be, but it was good.
But thanks for watching, guys. If you do have any questions, comments, anything, just leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you're also subscribed. I do want to shout out a few of my sponsors real quick. First off, Modern Warriors. They have everything you need. I'm going to put a discount code below in the description. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Also, a huge thanks to Staccato. I, again, had no malfunctions with my Staccato P. Ran beautifully, and it was really nice competing at the Staccato Ranch as well.